base, power, exponent. Those are the three things you're going to need just to start with. Exponent, power, and base. Okay? Rather than have you define them, I figured we'd sketch it out. Now, look at the table in the middle of the page. The base 12 with an exponent of 1 is 12 to the first power. Okay? 12 to the first power is just 12. The second one, 5/10 to the second, is 5/10 squared, more easily said. 4 to the 3 is 4 cubed. After that, there's no more fancy words. 8 to the 4th, okay, and so on. Okay? In their example, they give us several things. You guys can easily look at example 1 in the book at your leisure. Okay? I'm not going to continue to just have you copy what's in the book. Okay? I have other examples for you. So please recognize that. This is my example 1. My example 1, it's going to be the same type of question, but it's going to ask us some different examples. Write the product using exponents. Okay? For my first example, they've got, and it looks like this. I'm going to put an EXP here, and you're going to see why in a minute. EXP. So this repeated multiplication, 19 times 19 times 19, using an exponent is stated like this. Okay? That's using an exponent. I've got another one, which is going to be 1.7 times 1.7 times 1.7. This is the third one. And the fifth one. Okay, exponent is, instead of writing the repeated multiplication, 1.7 times 1.7, I'm not going to do that. It's a whole lot easier to say 1.7 to the 5th power. Okay, this here column, this first bit, is what we would call repeated, stay with me, multiplication. Okay? It takes much less pencil and paper and ink to just use the exponent. Variables, remember letters that don't have any meaning unless you figure out what their meaning is or unless it's given to you? Variables work the same way. The repeated multiplication of p is p to the 4th. Perhaps I exaggerated. P to the 4th. Last thing, we'll do as ridiculous as it seems. If we don't practice this, I guarantee you're all going to be standing up at my desk asking me, what is repeated multiplication? And I'm going to say, it's this. What does it mean? Write it as an exponent. That means this. Okay? By the way, what is that? W to the 7th? Okay? So, writing a product using exponents, if you're given repeated multiplication, is done like this. And by the way, for these two items, if you plug them in, you can get an actual value on your calculator. So for mine, I'm not sure I can actually put it in as a cube. I don't know if I have the cube function. I think I do somewhere. But 19 cubed is not 19 times 3. It's 19 times 19 times 19, which, if you actually hunted for it, you would end up with 6859. That's the actual value. 1.7 to the 5th power.
Kathy, come into the office, please.
It's really annoying that I don't just have an option to do that. But I could. 1.7 times 1.7 times 1.7, that's 3, 4, 5, is going to be 14.19857. Okay? So the three columns I've shown you here, repeated multiplication, if you are told write the product of this using exponents, this is what you do. And I just wanted for fun to give you the actual values of those. By the way, what if I said to you, write 6 to the 4th as repeated multiplication? Chris, what would you write? This is repeated multiplication. All right? What if I say to you, write 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 as an exponent? How will you say it, Ryan?
6 to the 4th?
He's right. Okay? It's not rocket science. Okay. Let's look at the checkpoint really quick. Number 1, it says write the product using an exponent. Write the product using an exponent. Grace, for the checkpoint, number 1, on the bottom of page 10, tell me what the product is using an exponent. Your book, why? Did I not give you one? No, I actually did give you one. Okay. Okay, you have to have it, right? Chris, can you tell me? 10 times 10 times 10? 10 cubed. Skipping number 2. How about number 3? Hope, number 3. Bottom of page 10, the checkpoint. Number 3. Yep, awesome. Okay, that's example 1. Example 2, again, the book you can read at your own leisure, but this is mine. Mine for you guys, because I'm not going to read to you like you're in 3rd grade. It is evaluating. Evaluate if y equals 3. Okay, that being said, let me tell you what I'm looking at. If y equals 3, evaluate what y cubed would be. Okay, what will y cubed be? Well, in repeated multiplication, it would look like this. Any answers? Ethan, what do you got? He's right. Okay? Awesome. There's another checkpoint just to verify that we all have our head on straight in the middle of the page, the top quarter of the page. Checkpoint number 1. What is m squared when m is equal to 9? Noah. When m is equal to 3, I just gave you the answer. Okay, awesome. And when m is 3, number 6, LaSalle? And if you have to put 3 times 3 times 3 in your calculator, do it. Nope, 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 times 3. Remember, it's multiplied, not 3 times 3. That's 3 squared. This is cubed. And if the value, and that's m, whatever, is 3, then you do this to that number. So that means the number gets multiplied that many times. Okay? So 3 cubed looks like that. Answer is still 27. Formulas. Moving to the middle and heading to the end of the lesson. I don't have any more room in my notes. If you do, keep going. If not, flip. I don't care. Formulas. You guys have learned that the area of a quadrilateral, 4-sided shape, area is equal to the length of that item times its width. Okay? The area of a quadrilateral is equal to the length of that item times its width. But what if we specified squares? Squares. Oh, by the way, you also learned that the volume of a quadrilateral is length times width times height. What about squares or cubes. Rather than doing length times width for a square, remember a square is the same, so whatever side you measure is going to equal the other side. That may not look like it, but it does. So using exponents here, area is equal to side squared. Cubes, on the other hand, since it's a three-dimensional shape, instead of writing length times width times height, remember, we already know that all the sides are the same because they're cubes. The volume of a cube is equal to the side cubed. Okay? Side cubed. Read to me the story of the ice sculpture. Example 3. Emma, I don't have another example, so I'm going to let you read that really quick. Yep, Emma.
An artist uses a cube-shaped block of ice to make an ice sculpture for a country-shaped friend volume of block of ice.
So the cube itself, based on the sketch, is 20 inches per side, right? We know it's all the same because I've told you it's a cube. Unless someone tells you it's a rectangular prism, or unless someone tells you something else, you can assume now that to solve the volume, you can use the volume formula. Volume equals side cubed. So 20 cubed. Okay. I know they give you the answer. I just want to check something. Is going to be 8,000 inches cubed. Volume is always cubed. Area is always squared. Units squared, whatever the units is. All right. One final example like this. This will be mine. I'm just making it up. Barnes and Noble sometimes does these weird stacks of books. Like a book that they know is going to sell a bajillion copies. They'll buy a bajillion copies and they'll display them. Well, if they built a stack of books and the stack was shaped as a cube and the cube was 4 feet per side, what would the volume be? Use your calculator, figure it out. Since it's a cube, because I told you, you're going to use volume equals side cube. Gosh, I'm seeing some awesome answers. Sarah. She says it's 64. 64 what? Bananas?
Cube.
64 what cube? Did I tell you? Feet? 64 feet cubed. Units, whatever it is, appropriate exponent since it's volume. Okay? How you guys feeling about this right now? In your assignment for today, you're only going up to number 35, and that's the odds. Lucky for you, they're in the back of the